Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Business Spotlight. I'm your host today, Todd Rodden. I'm a certified executive and business coach. I own Aspire Action Coach based here in the Dayton, Ohio area. And we're thrilled to have Pete Bales here with us today. Pete's the president and CEO of Local Gov Consultants based here in this region, and he'll share more about that. And he's also extremely involved in the local community and history with the local government as well. If you're new to the Business Spotlight, we're glad to have you here. We encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you'll receive future drops and messages from business leaders like you'll hear here today. And as well, encourage you to like what you hear today, and that helps us grow this community business conversation. So, Pete, we're thrilled to have you here joining us today. Maybe take a little bit, introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your business and how you got started.
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate the invite and would be happy to talk about my business. Now, my business is called Local Gov Consultants. We formed the business in 2019, and we are geared towards assisting local governments, typically small to mid-sized governments with cities of populations mainly under 50,000, with project management, strategic planning, and administrative operational needs. The business was started solely by me, kind of out of necessity, as I lost my job in 2019 after spending 24 years working day to day in local government. I served as a Parks and Recreation Director, Public Works Director, and 5 years as an assistant city manager. And as our leadership changed in a community where I worked, I found myself out of a job. And that was very challenging after so many years. And I had always kind of had a little entrepreneurial spirit within me, thinking about ways I perhaps could one day start my own business. And I think that change of employment kind of pushed me over the edge and allowed me to step off that cliff and do my own thing. So after I lost my job, of course, I went home and I talked to my wife and told her the news, and we sat down together and talked about that next phase of my career and our life and so forth. And we really didn't want to leave the Beavercreek community where we lived. And so that kind of limited my opportunities for finding another job a little bit. And so I posed the question to her, how about I start my own consulting business, and at the same time I remain active in public service by running for city council in Beavercreek. And she gave me the 2 thumbs up. And so that was really exciting and scary at the same time, because I only had a certain amount of runway before I still kind of needed to make some money. But she was very supportive, and my kids were supportive and excited. And so I managed to start the business. And within just a few weeks of losing my job, one community gave me a call, and they said, "I'm sorry you lost your job, but perhaps you can help me with this project." Okay. And quite frankly, Todd, that just opened the door and I walked through it, not knowing where it would lead, but quickly formed an LLC, and was a one-man show at the time, and performed the job that this community needed, and the jobs just kept coming, mainly by word of mouth, almost exclusively by word of mouth, and other communities and city managers and mayors and so forth talking to one another. The business grew and grew and grew. Since 2019, we now have 11 consultants working at Local Gov Consultants with me. Most all of them are part-time, with the exception of just a couple. But we have performed work all over the state of Ohio. We primarily focus in Southwest Ohio, Dayton, Cincinnati region. But I tell you what, I couldn't be more proud of the work that we do and more happy with the outcome. Given those circumstances, not even 5 years ago, I'm proud of the business we've built and the communities that we serve.
Okay. What a great story and great traction over the 4 to 5 years since, like I said, you got that push. All right. And so critical that you have the support of your family and your wife like that, right? That makes the road, it's never an easy road, but that does make it a lot easier. So maybe take a minute, just kind of talk about the types of projects you help local governments with.
Most of the time, local government will call me as a professional consultant because they either simply don't have time to perform a local government project or a strategic plan, or they're running into some operational issues and they just like a fresh set of outside eyes. And so most of the work we do has been with municipalities and some nonprofits to take a project they don't have time for and work that through to completion. A lot of times it will also be they just don't have that expertise on staff. And so as my career is kind of focused around parks and public works and some of those strategic planning initiatives, I'm very strong in those capabilities. But as we've grown throughout the years, I've added consultants with expertise that I do not have, such as human resources or finance and law enforcement and so forth. And so we actually have consultants that have a wide range of expertise now. So whenever a community calls me with a problem, chances are I have someone who is working with us here at Local Gov Consultants, or I have a contact that can help solve their problem.
Well, you talked about how, the services you have when they call you. How have you found the best ways to market your business and to grow your leads and contacts and referrals?
It's a great question. And I tell you what, Todd, I have been completely blessed because 95% of my business has been word of mouth. It has been other city managers talking to other city managers about the issues that they're having with their community. And one will say to the other, I bet Pete Bales and Local Gov Consultants could help you with that issue. And so, like I said, 95% of my business has come from referrals. But what I do frequently, maybe once every month or two, is I will send out an email to 100 or so of my contacts, just giving them updates on what kind of jobs that Local Gov Consultants is performing now or what we've recently completed. Just kind of keep it a refresher in the top of their mind about some of the scope of activities that we can do.
So building upon that, what separates you from other government consultants out there?
Well, I think the fact that we have a network that's really big and large in Southwest Ohio is great. And we have contacts with almost every community in the region. And even going now as far as really Central Ohio is becoming a day-to-day contact for us as well. I think what separates us the most is that all of our consultants have actual experience working in local government. They're former city managers, they're former finance directors, they're former county administrators or police chiefs, things like that, that really kind of give us that leg up so that when communities call us, they know they're going to get a professional result.
Good. We'll go a little bit more on team here probably in a minute or so. But so started in 2019, little thing called COVID happened somewhere in there, right? But
Yes.
you're coming up on 5 years. What's maybe it was COVID or some part of that, but what's been the single biggest roadblock you've had during that 5-year stretch?
Well, to be honest, I thought COVID was going to be a huge roadblock. And, I started my business in the late fall of 2019. And then March of 2020, when COVID hit, I was very fearful, because I thought, oh my gosh, governments are going to retract. They're not going to be spending any money. They're going to be scared just like the rest of us were with the unknown and everything else. But quite frankly, that happened for about a month. People shut down and then they figured it out. And then the federal government stepped in with a lot of COVID relief money. And so, quite frankly, since COVID and all of the ARPA money and CARES money and related infrastructure money, local governments are actually doing quite well with regards to funding. And they all have projects that they want to complete, but they still don't have all of the staff that they may need to complete. So that's again where local Gov Consultants comes in. So it was really another blessing in disguise. I would hardly call COVID a blessing. It was not. It was terrible. It was terrible. Still remains terrible to some respect. But as far as the business and the success of the business has been, COVID actually perhaps helped it a little bit.
Okay.
I think where I struggle the most right now is continuing to try and find more consultants that are qualified and able and willing to work various positions. Most of the jobs that I get are not like 40 hours a week, full time, forever and ever. They're project based, so they start and then they finish. And so finding really qualified consultants to join the team or want to do some side work and things like that has really been one of my growth strategies, but also one of the hardest things to do as well.
So what have you found that's working there? Uncovered any good nuggets?
Yeah. Networking. I network a lot. Network with current administrators. I network with recently retired administrators, and I challenge the current consultants that we have to keep their eyes open for other opportunities and other consultants that would really help supplement the team. And then also be willing to kind of build the business too, because as I'm only one person. Most of the business development has been done by me. But the stronger we get, the more need that there is for us, and the more need there'll be for other consultants to help kind of build that business as well.
So when you look to add to your team, which sounds like you almost continually are based on the growth you've had, you talked about the experiences that they bring, right? Mm-hmm. That's part of separating your business. But what else do you look for from who's going to make for a good fit on your team?
Obviously someone who has been through it before. Those experiences are really second to none. But also someone who has been a proven leader, someone who can really build trust with an organization they're going to go into from day one, because we'll step into a community having never been there before. And as a consultant, we really need to accomplish the tasks that we're set out to do. And so that means we're going to step into that leadership team that already exists. So we have to kind of figure out good ways to work well with their team and all of the different dynamics of not only the leadership team, but perhaps the political situation within a community, whatever that might be. And so I really look for kind of tenured leaders that understand those different dynamics.
Okay. Yeah. I could see how them coming into a new community, there can be lots of cultural things within that organization, political things that maybe you're not aware of coming from the outside, that you quickly have to understand that, as well as the more the technical challenge that's in front
That's
of you.
Right. And every community is different. every community organization is organized differently. The leadership is different. The way that they've done things in the past is not uniform from one community to the next. And so it's that ability to adapt to the different environment is really got to be strong in our consultants.
So what does a day in the life of your role, the CEO, right? You can end up wearing a lot of different hats. What tends to be your focus where you spend the bulk of your time?
In 2023, I spent a lot of time trying to develop more consultants that fit in the fold of the organization, and then also doing a lot of business development, trying to find work to meet the needs of the consultants that we have. And then also I enjoy work. So I still take on 2 or 3 major projects for other communities, especially project management. I really, really enjoy project management and strategic planning. And so doing some of those actual day-to-day planning processes for different communities is what I've enjoyed. But you're right, running the business, just simply running it, paying the bills and everything else takes time. We are still very small. I mean, I've got a small office, in Beavercreek, and I still write checks once, every month, and I still do my own deposits and finance and marketing. And so I think the day in the life is varied, which is something that I've always really appreciated anyway. But I am very process driven. So my Outlook calendar is kind of a mess because it is blocked quite a bit for X, Y, and Z of the day or the week or the month. And that's what really gets me excited in the morning and keeps me busy all day.
So what's your dream with this? Where does it go from here if you look down the road 3, 5 years?
It's a good question. Obviously I want to continue to build it. I want to add consultants as needed, and continue to really impact local governments. And that's really why I started it, to utilize my expertise in helping other local governments succeed. And so I really want to see that continue. I can see myself in the business growing for the next 5, 6, 8, 10 years. And then I'm quite, to be honest, I'm not quite sure where it will go from there. But perhaps there's someone who will want to pick the ball up and run with it when I'm ready to retire.
So you've been on this journey, like I said, almost 5 years. We have a lot of folks who are fairly new to owning a business who subscribe to this channel, so they're new entrepreneurs. So as you look back, what would you tell yourself if you were starting over? I mean, what do you wish you knew then that you know now?
I mean, obviously it took me about a year to finally create a business plan. And because the first year I was just kind of, for lack of a better term, just dove in head first and just trying to make things happen. I think having a business plan, which I do review probably twice a year and update, has helped keep me focused on really what my goals are and what I want to accomplish for, it's a 1, 3, and 5 year plan. And so it really kind of keeps me focused. What I would tell someone is to really focus on your plan. Make sure you're comfortable with your plan, but then use it to motivate you every single day to accomplish what you need to do to make that a success. Would I do it again? Absolutely. I would jump in head first again and do the same thing. But if I were to do it again, I would probably start with a business plan that was kind of written out and talked through to give me those goals.
Outstanding. So Is there one thing you wish more people knew about your business?
I guess I wish they knew that we have a variety of capabilities, because every now and then, I will talk to another city manager or a city council member or something like that about what we're doing, in other communities, and the light bulb will go on. They'll say, "Ah, didn't know you did that," or "I didn't know you offered such a service," or things like that. Um, and I think it's my fault, because I just need to communicate more frequently, maybe, with everybody. But as we add consultants with different expertise, for example, we just added a police chief, a former police chief, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and we've completed a project with him recently. I should probably let more people know that we have that type of capability. But really, the capability that we do have, we could go into any community and really run their entire government. We've got economic development, we've got community planning, we've got finance, we've got human resources. Don't really have a fire chief, but certainly could find one if I needed to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So folks who are interested in learning more, want to stay connected with you, where should they plug in, where they can follow and connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. My website is localgovconsultants.com. They can find me at Pete Bales on LinkedIn, or they can just simply send me an email, pbales@localgovconsultants.com, and I will gladly respond to them quickly.
Okay. Hey, thank you for sharing that contact information. So as we wrap up here, the last question for the day, Pete, what inspires you?
I think the biggest thing that inspires me, Todd, is seeing the success of our local community and the communities that I touch. It's one of the reasons why I ran for city council. One of the reasons why I'm vice mayor now in Beavercreek is to really have a positive impact on my own community. But with the business, I get really jazzed by seeing the success of other local communities that we're able to impact. And so that's my biggest takeaway, and really makes me smile, makes me sleep well at night, knowing that other communities have been positively impacted by the work that we've done.
Outstanding. And really, Pete, thank you for sharing your story, your journey, and also more about what Local Gov Consultants does. I think you can tell your passion for it there, and your final answer about the inspiration. And I think also very telling, because when you help the local government be more effective, it just has a tremendous ripple effect throughout the entire community, right? So it touches most of the lives within that city or county. So great work that you guys are doing. Congratulations also on your recent election win, joining the city council and being the vice mayor on top of all your other duties with running your business. So thanks for joining us. And then for our viewers today, again, we're so glad you joined us to hear Pete's story. Again, encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel for the Business Spotlight, and check out some of the other great messages we have from other inspiring business leaders in the community. Thank you, and have a terrific day.